So the paint's super thin, at least Warcolors is. So whenever you're doing applications with it, you always have to remember, essentially whatever you're layering on there is much, much lighter than it appears when it dries. So again, just layering that base color back on real slow. That way we can highlight it back up. I'll let that side dry for a while. Move on to this one. So as you can see with watercolors, right, whenever you're doing your first coats back on, it's really, really thin. You can see pretty much all the brush strokes. And that's kind of the trick to it, is you begin to layer it back up over and over and over, but you have to make sure that you're moving the pigment around fast enough, because it will dry on you really fast. So again, if you're just now joining, thanks for hanging out today. Doing a double feature today. I'm not sure what I'll be streaming this afternoon, but this morning I figured, since I didn't do a stream yesterday at all because I was busy, we would go ahead and do it twice today. So we'll figure that out eventually. Possibly something from this commission again, I'm just not sure. Maybe another vehicle. Something along those lines. So you can see right there in the forearm, we're finally up to pure pigment. No, Bill, what I do with the thumb is to make sure that I always have a sharp point on the brush. I just wipe it off there. And then if I've mixed a color, to make sure that I have the brush loaded the right way, to make sure the consistency is correct, sometimes I'll test it, but when I do that, I do like the loaded brush from left to right, so you can actually see how much paint is there. But normally, yeah, it's just to make sure I have a sharp tip at all times. It's a good trick. As always, if you guys ever have any questions or anything like that, always feel free to drop them down in the chat. Let me know what you have going on, what you guys have been painting recently. If it's your first time seeing my page, I usually stream once a day, every day, Monday through Friday, while I'm working on my commissions. Sometimes twice a day, like today will be. last few streams, I've been working on an Anachrony commission. I also was working on the display level giveaway miniature for the patrons as well. I always use a size 00 brush. The brand doesn't matter to me because I paint too much to really care. I use synthetic sable though. I don't care enough to use real sable because it'll just be ruined from the volume of painting I do. I do have sable brushes though, I just don't use them for stuff like this. We are going to go one step brighter, so that's kind of the trick to all of this. It's just making sure I get to pure pigment with this color, and then that way we can shade it up higher. Alright, so now we're going to mix. Oh, whoops. Now we're going to test the mix here. Or not test it, but we'll mix up for a second and see how it's going to look. So moving a step up to Watercolor Flesh 2. I'm going to add a little bit of the quick shade to make sure it's extra runny. Thumb test. Looks good to me. Super thin. So you can see there that really smooth transition that we did from the new color to the old one. And then we'll pick it out one more time. So this is the final highlight color. We're only going to be picking out those very, very top level details. I don't like how the camera's blowing this out today. Hold on one second. Let me adjust this. It doesn't feel right. So you can see we're going for a really bright flesh, but you can see now, right, we're finally getting to the really smooth transitions there on the highlights. There we go. Alright. Decently happy with that. How about we just go ahead and wash the metal. That'll be nice and easy. We can do that really quick. So we're going to use Army Painter Strong Tone. Alright, so that's all we're going to do for that. Remember, in these sections, we're going to go in and paint them black and yellow anyway, so don't have to worry too much. Alright, so now we'll move on to his body. Doing his little tank tread body and all that stuff. So you can see how I manipulated that wash. That's one reason why I prefer Army Painter over other brands. The actual mixing medium that they use allows it to pool a little bit differently than you can move it around. So I made it concentrate solely on the middle part of that shoulder band, right? So that we're going to have a super smooth gradient as it dries. You can see I did the same effect right there. So you can just control their washes a whole lot more. Just making sure where I have it everywhere. Looks good to me. Alright, so let's do the, I already did the shield. Shield seems to be drying. We can do the back side real quick. Since no one's really going to be checking the back anyway, who cares? Just going to dump it on. Actually need a little bit more. Haha! Dropping it. There we go. Alright. While we are waiting on that to dry, we can do his face mask. So for that, let's do deep red for the strap. And then black. I mean, not black, but we could do just a really dark. We can do a dark blue. And then ink it black. It'll probably work out the same. Alright. Alright, so once that section's dry, we're going to do a direct Vallejo game color black ink on top, which will kill pretty much 99% of that blue, just leaving us tiny little edge highlights. Then we'll do the top part in red, and then we can ink that brown. If you're just now joining, thanks for hanging out today. We've been going for about an hour. As always, I stream Monday through Friday while I'm working on my commissions. I am lucky enough to be a full-time commission painter. Offer all kinds of different levels. This is a tabletop level commission for this large Astra Militarum army. So, obviously, if you're ever interested in any kind of commission work, feel free to hit me up, get a quote. If you yourself are a painter and you're looking for tips, anything cool like that, I also produce a lot of extra content on my Patreon page beyond the streams, so definitely check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/minipaintingstudio. It's only about 2 weeks old at this point, pretty new. Didn't really know if it was a direction I wanted to go in, but I was convinced by a couple people to give it a shot. Make sure to like the page. Whenever I get to 500 likes, I'll be giving away a miniature as well. So if you just follow the page, you are not eligible, so make sure you actually hit that like button. Or if not, don't worry, man. It's not a big deal. Appreciate you hanging out. I hope you have a great day. Hope everybody's had a good week. We have the weekend coming up. I know I'll be doing some painting this weekend as well. Usually I try to not work on the weekend since I do it Monday through Friday. But if I had to guess, I'm probably going to end up painting this weekend too. Some catch-up work. Have the patron live chat this weekend as well, so that'll be interesting. More speed streams coming out. I have a bunch of speed streams coming out this weekend. Alright, so his face mask is complete, and then we can apply the washes onto that too. You can see the wash on the metal is starting to dry. You can see that nice tone that we got. It dries a lot less saturated than it appears when you apply it, but the end result is really nice. You can see it on here as well. Pretty toned down compared to when we applied it. Alright, so I know we can go ahead and apply the black game ink. Assuming I know where it is. Whew! Yawning, sorry about that. Hope I didn't kill anybody in the audience. Alright, so I must be blind because I'm not seeing my black game ink anywhere. And I know it's here, so... Stayed up way too late last night doing some extra work. And today I'm a zombie. Alright, well, since we can't use the black, since I have no idea where it is in front of me, we'll just go ahead and use Army Painter Dark Tone. Works just the same. It's not as black, but it'll be okay. We only need a little bit, and I can add some black to it as well if we have to. I may do that actually. Oh, here it is. God, it was next to the black paint. That's amazing. Amazing. Just gotta open my eyes, man. All right. The game color, game ink black is super, super pigmented. Like, it pretty much kills all the color that you apply it to if you've never used it before. So we're going to apply it to that face mask, his little Bane mask. And it's only going to leave us with edge highlights. Very, very subtle, which is what I wanted. I wanted it to be black. You won't be able to tell until it's dry. At least on camera. I can already see the edge highlights though. This is a really good method of painting black as well, because it leaves you actual transition shades. Alright, then I'm going to use the dark tone on the deep red color. Oh, I did switch to a size 030 brush for this. So a tad bit smaller, one size smaller than we normally use. Alright, so we're going to let those washes dry. Alright, so I've been streaming for an hour. Every hour I like to take a quick break. So I'm going to run to the bathroom, take care of all those things so I don't die here sitting in the chair. So as we do that, you can hang out or you can go. Thanks for hanging out either way. I will be right back after taking another break. All right. Give me 1 second here. And we'll get right back to it. Okay. So I was trying to translate something someone posted in Danish on the post, and it has something to do with a PlayStation controller, so I have no idea what that's about. So we'll just act like that never happened. All right, so our washes have dried a bit. So you can kind of tell there's a little bit of a shine to it on the face mask, but those little light edge highlights, details like that are what we were looking for. Now we can just go back over and do edge work on the top part. And that's pretty much the vibe we were looking for there. As I drop the dude. Okay. Need to get a new palette out here as well, but I think we'll be okay. Very simple edge highlighting. Pretty dark, obviously, but we don't want it to stand out a ton. Really deep red color. I think it's Chaos Red from Army Painter. Pretty sure. That's weird. Alright, so I went ahead and bridged the gap with that red so that it'll transition up a little bit. So the shield is still drying. Otherwise, I would pop it on there just to see kind of how we're going. But you can see the metal effect there. It looks nice and greasy. I love Vallejo oily steel. After you put a wash on it, I think it looks really, really good. Usually. Alright, so for the pants on these guys, I'm thinking... Actually, maybe just a gray. We may just do gray. So I think we're just going to cheat a little bit and use the same black ink directly onto the deep taupe gray color that I use all the time for base coats. Water it down a tad, like 1 drop full, and then just go through and wash it all. And you can see relatively quickly there, right, the actual amount of highlight that's going to come through on the black. Then we can just do edge highlights on the gray. The boots and the belt are going to be the same color. We're going to use a raw sienna to base coat in there. And we might be able to do it right now already. Possibly. There you can see the red on his head. Goes into the edge highlight. But alright. Yeah, we should be able to apply it. We'll go ahead and apply it. Yeah, we'll do that. Alright, so we're going to use this raw sienna color. This raw sienna honestly should be like my trademark color. I use it all the time. Super secret brand. No one's allowed to know the brand. No, I'm kidding. I've already mentioned it a billion times before on stream. Not your typical wargaming acrylic color. But it is super high pigment. It's nice and smooth as long as you add a little bit of water and you're good to go. If you live in the US, you can find it a couple places. I've never found it online, funny enough. If you live over in Europe, I'm sorry, you're out of luck. Alright, so here's that raw sienna color. You can see it's a really awesome brown. You can tone it down. You can change the temperature of it. You can apply like a blue wash to it and it suddenly becomes a really warm, deep blue. You can apply a green, it turns into a really dark army green. You can apply a black, it becomes super dark brown. Or you can use a darker brown wash and it just becomes a nice deep brown. You can even apply red and it becomes red. So it's a super versatile color, really neutral tone. Love using it. Some of the black ink there, that's fine. If you're just now joining this morning, good morning. Hope you have a great Friday planned out. If it's not Friday morning, wherever it is in the world for you, hope you've had a good day. If it's your first time checking out one of the streams, feel free to like the page. You'll be able to see all the other streaming I do Monday through Friday. Sometimes I do weekend stuff as well. Always like to show the commission work that I'm working on. The Astra Militarum stuff you're seeing now is just a tabletop quality commission. Nothing too insane. Just good tabletop quality miniatures. Like I was saying previously, we did go a little bit above and beyond on the skin. But since these guys are bigger, I wanted the detail to kind of be on the transition of their tones of their flesh. So that's why we went a little bit extra there. And it's not just a regular troop choice, so may as well give it a little bit of love. If you check back either on the YouTube channel or if you check on the previous streams here on the Facebook page, you can see some of the other Astra Militarum stuff that I've been working on. This commission's huge, though. It's a gigantic army. 20-something vehicles, ton of infantry. So it's a big one. Gonna be moving to and from it quite a bit in between other commissions as well. Alright, so you can start to see, too, that nice black wash that we applied to the pants is drying. You can see the really nice transition effect there on the gray. There we go. But yeah, so this is just tabletop quality. This month on the Patreon, the display level miniature, as I reach for it, that I'll be raffling away is going to be this dude right here. So you can see, obviously, the difference between the two. I think pretty easily. But so this is the guy that'll be given away on the Patreon. Eligible at the 3 and 5 level. Also painted him on stream too, so you can check those out if you're interested. This is a Rackham Wolfen miniature. But enough about him. Back to this dude. So the brown is almost dry. We can start hitting that with washes here pretty soon. This is still drying. I guess the recesses there are pretty deep, though. Makes sense. What we can do is actually use this raw sienna color to do the base layers that we're going to make yellow. Since painting yellow is a nightmare anyway. I am interested in trying out Warcolor's one coat yellow, though. I've heard really good things about that. But, I mean, I don't have it here, obviously, so we can't just use it. Alright, I need to hold this better. There we go. I don't really have to be super precise here, since the other color is black. I just want to make sure I don't get it on the other metal on the rim. Interestingly enough, you know, we could use that black wash instead of black paint right now and just knock it out, but I think we'll wait. Maybe. Maybe not. I mean, we could knock it out right now. Should we? Should we? Yeah, screw it. Why not? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Make our lives a little bit easier here. This will actually help the yellow pop without killing the overall vibe of the paint job as well, since a little bit of that metallic is going to show through after it dries. Now, I don't know why I'm making this black. I just thought it would be interesting to see. So we're just kind of making that black for no good reason, but I think it's actually maybe a good idea. Yeah, totally. We'll just let that dry. Alright. If you have any questions, make sure to drop them in the chat for you, and I'll answer them the best that I can. To answer your question, Bill, it's Delta Creative. Good old Delta Creative. You can see our super dark gray pants that we got with just that one application of wash on the base color. So, bang bang. What you know about that? It looks blue, but it's not. It's actually kind of crazy that it looks blue on camera. That's really weird. Alright, whatever. But, so now that we have that, we're going to use Army Painter's Strong Tone. No, we're not. I'm lying to y'all. I am lying. We are going to use Army Painter Soft Tone. I had it by me. This is terrible. I don't paint in the morning usually, so like all of my shit is just completely messed up. If I can't figure out where this is, okay, here it is. I was gonna say we're just literally gonna use a different color. Alright, so we're going to use this soft tone on the browns that we just applied. Do I really have to use the dropper? I should have reset all this morning, and I didn't. Alright. Let's begin our application here. Making happy mistakes. Oh, look at that. This little chipping effect. Huh. I'll throw this on there. Discolor it even more. Why not? Make it look like rust or something. There we go. Alright. So you can see the awesome shading effect that has on the brown. Our signature sienna. Applying it really heavy because I want it to be noticeable but also be subtle. If it's not dark enough, we can go back in, but that's not a big deal. We can just let it dry first. Alright, moving on to the boots. The boots, dude. That should dry pretty badass. Yeah, that's gonna dry real nice. Real nice. Alright, I'm also gonna apply that same wash to the feet because they should be dirty, so the metal on there is gonna be dirtier. So we're just gonna slap this on, dirty it up. Now I'm gonna go through and apply the same wash in random places on his armor. I'm always a fan of using two-tone washes on metal anyway, so that's what we're doing here. Top, we really won't mess with it though. Alright, so we're going to move back to the shield, do the same thing. Oh, how nice. You can see our black wash is pretty much dry, but it's given us a really smooth little transition there. It looks like a super dulled down yellow already. That's always cool. Alright, so we're going to apply our soft tone here. Different spots, different panels. You get the idea of what we're doing. We're just breaking up the metal. It's gonna look like a totally different metal as well, which is great, because it's not. It's the same color, but it's saving you time, which is always important. And just makes the paint job look better, more dynamic. And all you're having to do is drop in a wash. I am applying it too on a little bit of the battle damage. We could let gravity dry this a little bit, but I'd rather have it be kind of smooth, so that's why I'm tilting it a little bit here to make sure it runs the right way. Alright, there we go. We'll just let that calm down and dry, just like that. I think it looks really nice. Alright, alright, let's check on our boy here. You can see the wash on the raw sienna color is drying nicely, toning everything down. The armor's looking good. We can go back in for edge highlights, or we can just leave it dirty. I'll probably make that decision whenever we see how it's like really dry, how it's really cooking. We'll see, we'll see. But I'm relatively happy. Just seeing if I need to drop in more of that wash anywhere. Just a couple spots. And I'll just dump the rest that I have here on the arm. You're not going to see it anyway, but we'll just darken it up just in case. Probably under his chin area. Do the face mask, this little breather. There we go. Apply it to his neck. I don't like wasting wash, especially when it's something I love as much as Army Painter. There we go. That's not really going to tone it any different. It's just going to bring the levels down. Okay, so looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. See how this is drying. Looking good. Backside is good. So I'm going to pull this off of its holder. We're going to drop it on the Mini. Alright, so obviously I need to shade this. So we'll get to work on that. I didn't know how visible it would be. And it's super visible, so let's tone it all down. I just mixed all the washes there, so it's just going to be dirty, dirty. Alright, so that's all toned down. So they're all Army well, that's not true. It isn't all Army Painter. But for the most part, it's all Army Painter washes. They don't have colors, they just have different tones. So they have dark tone, strong tone, soft tone, flesh tone, stuff like that. Alright. Pretty happy with this Bane looking dude. Looking like a bat villain. Alright. Pretty pleased with that. I'm going to continue to... I mean, we can... What can we do here? What can we do here? So, I'm just going to throw out some different shades. Actually, no, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use this one. We didn't do the skin on the arms, but... Or the weapon arms, but that's not going to take too long. I'll go ahead and wash the weapons, though. Get them out of the way. Looking good. Move on to his big gun here. These are all magnetized. If you're just now joining, that's why they're not attached. That is why, that is why. so we have some options. You know what? Let's do this shield in a completely different color. Just to switch things up, shall we? Oh, that's funny. I was like, let's do it in a bronze, and I actually attached it to the bronze. So instead, let's use Army Painter Bronze. Or Weapon Bronze is what they call it. Going real watery and thin on this application because I want it to be super weathered, and then we can either dry brush it up, do actual line work. Either way, I don't want it to look clean. Obviously, we'll do the backside after we pull off the blue tack, but I think I can get the base colors though. Yeah, we're good. It has the same little applicator in the hand, or the like the little handle, same as the other one that we were doing, so shouldn't be too bad. All right, so we'll just let that dry. And obviously, like I said, this is not a perfect coat here. We do not have perfect coverage, and that's on purpose. I don't need it to be perfect. We'll just let it dry, and we'll do the same wash treatment, but it'll at least be a different color going on him, right, than what we're used to with the previous ones. Seems like my colors are like, my exposure's really killing it, the contrast between his skin and the rest, but it isn't as drastic as the camera's making it seem, but the camera also is adjusting for all the darks. But I wanted these guys to be darker in nature anyway. So, alright, let's see what's actually dry in here. So you can see the wash that we applied to the raw sienna is pretty much dry on the boots, which allows us to go and do edge highlights if we need to, or you can just leave them like that, right? Not a big deal. More of a subtle wash applied. Pop that off. But alright, so other than the final details on that, finishing up the arms, that's pretty much all I was going to do to this morning. You can catch me again at 2 p.m. CST when I do the regular stream. Maybe we'll come back to this. I'm going to finish up some other stuff until then this morning, though. So, as always, thanks so much for hanging out. Make sure you like the page. You'll be able to see all the other streams that I do. If you're interested in commission work, always feel free to hit me up. Really cheap, really fast. Offer 3 different tiers of levels. If you yourself are a painter and you're looking for any tips, tricks, speed streams, stuff like that, make sure to check out the Patreon there in the bottom right hand corner of the screen, patreon.com/minipaintingstudio. And if not, it's alright, I don't care. I just appreciate you hanging out today. So, thanks again. If I don't see you again later this afternoon and you're doing something else, I hope you have an awesome weekend. I hope everything goes well for you. You find $20 in the pocket of a jacket. Have a great weekend, and I will see you guys later this afternoon.